What's good, family? It's your girl Wisdom, and we are back with another episode. I first want to give a shout out to all the new subscribers, all the people who have joined the Wisdom family. Thank you guys for being here so much, for just coming to support my journey as an artist, my mission as an artist, and even just supporting my artwork as well. I appreciate y'all, whether y'all came from TikTok, Instagram, or even the YouTube reel feeds. I appreciate y'all for being here. On this episode, we are talking about how to stay consistent as an artist. Now, this question stemmed from a conversation that I had back a few weeks back, where the discussion was, how do you stay consistent as an artist, and how do you stay consistent as a content creator, and then how do you find that balance? So, Splash, if you're watching, I don't know if you're watching. Shout out to Splash for this question. I most likely will put like in the end credits where initially the conversation was, and y'all get to just check that out. But we are just going to deep dive into that because I feel like I could have gave more in that moment. Like, well, not in the moment. I felt like I could have gave more. You see how we be picking at ourselves as artists? But afterwards, when I rewatched the video, I realized, like, oh my gosh, I can expand more on this conversation, and I feel like there's more that I can add to it that will be useful for you guys within your journey. So let's get on right into it. So, as y'all know, I do like to start from my personal experiences. And if you're new here, I love to give like a personal totem or a personal experience. That way y'all can feel more connected with me as an artist, and that way it lays out the framework for what I am discussing in each video. So how do I stay consistent as an artist? As an artist and a content creator, I would definitely say the term content creator, or even just the title of being a content creator, is fairly new for me, for the simple fact that I don't create content unless I have art. Just saying. Or I don't create content unless I have something to say. I don't create content unless I feel like I want to share. and that's the reason why content creation is like such a new term, or such a new title for me, because as an artist, we are so focused in creation and experimenting and exploring and observing and being a sponge and soaking up different resources soaking up different resources, soaking up different opportunities, and trying to apply ourselves within our practice, whatever those variants look like. And I feel a lot of the times it's hard for artists to have to go from creation mode to business mode to, oh my God, I have to share and put my face on a camera, and then I have to let people understand my personality. But content creation is just virtual networking, essentially. That's essentially what it is. So even if you were to do a gallery or an art show or a pop-up shop, you still have to sell your personality. You still have to sell who you are, your story, your mission, your goal as an artist. But we're just doing it virtually. And I feel like the only difference is everybody has an opinion. And people like to hide behind a screen. And one thing that I've noticed since writing down what I wanted to talk about in this episode, and even just being in new communities, having new supporters join, especially on TikTok, like one thing that I have learned is a lot of people are afraid of that first step of social interaction on the internet when it comes to sharing their artwork, because they don't know what type of people that they're gonna get. They don't know what negative comments people may say. They don't even know like what the initial response is gonna be, which is why I tell y'all all the time, you having a foundation as an artist is so important. It helps you build your confidence, especially in a world that is gatekeeping has been essential for a very long time, right? It's almost like a hierarchy, right? And then also too, trying to find access to certain things is up there too. And criticism, critiquing and criticism, and everybody having an opinion on your creativity, on how you choose to put yourself out there, can be very intimidating. So I completely understand that. But to get this back around to content creation and having a balance, having a balance with being an artist and now being a content creator, I have had to learn what my flow is and what my process is as an artist. And what I mean by that is through my commissions, how do I work? Do I work hourly? Do I work monthly? How do I work as an artist? Another thing that I've learned is I work based off my emotions and my feelings. So every day is not going to be the same, especially being a woman, right? Every day is not going to be the same when it comes to how I approach my artwork. There'll be one day where I may have 2 hours to give, two hours of energy, of my time and energy to give on this specific day. And then there may be another day where I have 6 to 8 hours to give in order to just create and give that attention to my art. So one key factor that I would definitely say is figure out what is your approach to your art and your art process. How do you work? Because that will let you know what the balance is, how to figure out a balance that works best for you when it comes to balancing one title in this hand and one title on the other hand. One thing that I would definitely like to mention as well is I wear multiple different hats having an art business. So not only am I the artist, I'm also the content creator. I'm also the marketer. I am also, the shipping, packaging, the ordering, the handling. I am the graphic designer. I am the mentor, right? I am the workshop teacher, right? What else am I? I put together my newsletters. I put together my contracts. I have to figure out pricing. There are so many different hats that I wear within my business. And I have to delegate. I believe that's the correct word, but I have to delegate which one needs my attention in this moment. In this season that I'm in right now, whether it's in 2 days, 3 days, or whether it's the next month, whether it's the next week or so, what is calling to my attention at this point in time currently, and how can I put all of my energy that I do have towards that specific thing? So right now, I just came from a period of paint. So during the season of October, all I wanted to do was just paint my paint my art, right? Whether that be by myself or on TikTok live, and then also make sure I do Q&A videos, and then I post my content. That was for that specific season of October. That is what I chose to do. In that season, I was making sure that I put my content out whenever I saw that there was content, and I made no excuses for not having any content. And on the days that I could show up for live streaming, those were the days that I chose to show up, and I put my all into it, right? And the days that I could edit my content regarding my portraits and the series that I'm working on, I made sure to post that content. And I would definitely say I did pretty well in that season. And so right now I'm moving into a new season where I have to get out of post mode into, okay, what's calling to your attention? Is it teaching? Is it mentoring? Is it doing another workshop? Is it posting another YouTube video? I gotta see what is being what is being asked for me to do, because now the season has shifted. So I would definitely say, if you are somebody that's very intuitive, if you are somebody that goes based off of how they feel, that will be a great way to start approaching how to balance the different hats that you wear within your art business. In the time that I did that, one thing I also learned too is stop trying to meet the demands of the algorithm. The algorithm is forever changing. It is changing on a daily basis. It changes based off of what you watch on any given day. It changes on what's the next trend. It changes of what's happening in the world. The algorithm is forever changing. So do not try to keep up with the algorithm. It is AI engineered for a reason. We are by human design. That is by intelligence and computer design. We are not on the same level. So stop trying to engage on the algorithmic level. You can be a mad scientist, but a mad scientist will burn out too. I'm just saying. Another practice that I implemented from the season that I just came off of was I focused more on engagement. And what I mean by engagement, I just don't mean how many people viewed my video, because that's not engagement. That's just people just watching. They be just people watching at that point. There are so many people where we go from 300 views to 1K views to 900 views, 1.4K views to 50 views. And I only get maybe 3, 5, or 6 comments, right? And for me, that level of engagement, because I think about how I engage with other people, that level of engagement means the world to me, because it lets me know that you heard what I said, you found value from what I said, and not only that, you took it a step further to explain to me of where that value was in whatever video I just posted. So I would definitely say that focus on people engaging and not just viewership within the content that you create. Don't let that be your driving force, but be open to how people let you know how you are helping them in their art practice and how they're choosing to support you by simply just commenting on your videos. So post consistently, because the people that are engaging, the people that are making those comments or showing up in your live streams, those are the supporters that stay. And they will consistently stay, no matter what your consistency looks like. So even if you post for 5 days and then on that 6th day you decide not to post because maybe you tired, or maybe you didn't have the time to make content, or whatever the case may be, those people are still going to be there. You don't have to worry about that, right? But that algorithm, baby, let me tell you something, that algorithm gonna change, all because you just didn't post. So do not let that be your driving force. Do not let that be the reason why you are not posting, because of how the algorithm works, because you want to get 1K views every single time that you post a video. Don't be unrealistic. Don't do that. Be in alignment. Okay? Okay. Our next phase of just like finding that balance is figure out what works best for you. I cannot stress this enough. And at this point, I feel like I say it in every video, but you need to find out what works best for you. I'm talking to you. You. Figure out what works best for you. You can use people as inspiration and as references. That's great, right? To get an idea. That's what mentorship is for, right? That's what coaching is for. That's what workshops are for. That's what this video is for. But you gotta get to know you to figure out what works best for you. And if you don't know you, we got a problem. And what I mean by that, figure out what works best for you. Let's say if you still work a 9-to-5 job, which there is nothing wrong with that. And I'm tired of people saying that working a 9-to-5 job while you're an artist is an issue, and it's not, because at the end of the day, you're an artist whether you work a 9-to-5 job or you work any job, right? But you have to figure out what your schedule is. What is your flow? What is your routine? Whatever you want to call it. What does that look like on a daily basis? So for me, I would definitely say my sleep be up and down, because I'm a creator. So there will be some times where I will go to sleep at like 9, 10 o'clock. And then I get up at like 4 or 5 o'clock and I'm painting first thing in the morning, instead of I would definitely say this is like my usual time that I wake up, which is like 7 o'clock. And then I get my workout in, I go walk, right? And then like 12 o'clock, I do all of like my spiritual meditation, my workout, right? I do all of that. And then by 12 o'clock, I get to work, right? So maybe I have clients that day. Maybe I might just go ahead and start on a painting, right? Or maybe I might record a video. Maybe I might edit some videos, or maybe I might work on a workshop. It just totally depends on what your flow is. Some people work better at night. And sometimes I work better at night. Sometimes I will go the whole day without painting. And then all of a sudden, I may be by myself. I'm painting by myself. And then I'll start painting at midnight. And I'm painting till 4 o'clock in the morning. Just because I got some inspiration. So you have to figure out what your foundation of your flow is. Like, okay, this is my usual routine. This is kind of how this works. And then start to implement, okay, well, what works best for me? That way I can figure out when do I need to edit content? When should I decide to post content? When should I decide to paint my art or live stream, right? If you are somebody that does live stream your art practice. So figure out that flow, okay? And don't let nobody tell you what your flow should look like, because what's for you is for you. And that's that. Another thing that I would stay keen on too is what is a flow or a routine that you can enforce more too. So if you don't have like a strict schedule, or if you don't have like different time phases throughout your day, or maybe you have kids, or maybe you have a family member that you have to take care of, figure out where you can take some of that time off for yourself. You can schedule some of that time, and you can rework the schedule that you already have with all your other responsibility as well. And if that's something that y'all need more help on, please don't be afraid to sign up for a mentorship, or just DM me for a quick question, all right? Because I'm here to help. I got y'all. This moves right along into our next segment, which is stop trying to make everybody on the internet happy. Okay? Stop trying to make everybody on the internet happy. This is your art. This is your journey. This is your practice. The people who are already supporting you and the people who are manifesting you or looking for you and your work are going to find you. The internet is always going to be there when you come back. Now, I mean, unless, we have like, now the grid just fall off. Y'all know what I'm talking. For them people, y'all know what I'm talking about. The grid just shut down. Unless it's dumb cases, the cases we cannot control that are out of our, stuff that is out of our control, with economics and politics. We ain't got no control of that. But I'm saying, if the grid don't fall off, the internet is still gonna be there when you get back. Okay? So don't try to make the internet happy with, okay, I need to have this amount of hashtags. I need to make sure I have this type of headline or caption in my title, in my description. I need to have all these different kind of things for clickbait. I'm sorry, are you a clickbait artist? Well, stop making clickbait content. How about that? How about you make some content that's in alignment? Make some aligned content. Okay? Because I am so sick of it where these people will make these quick titles for videos and then not be what the video is about. Oh my God, it irks my nerves. I hate it. Stop making videos about content, about discussions, or you make a video and then you put that title and that's not what the video is about. Stop lying to people. That's why people distrust people right now, because everything is for clickbait. And then you sit there and you watch a video, you try to support, and then you realize, oh my God, you just wasted my time. I can't get this 20 minutes back. I can't get these 2 minutes back. I can't get this 30 seconds back for you wasting my time because you lied about what the video was about. So don't do that. Don't be that person, or I'm gonna be mad at you. It irritates my spirit. Make content that is aligned for you, okay? Do not be so focused on, okay, well, the algorithm says that this is what's booming right now, so I need to specifically make content about this. And it's like, is that the space that you're in right now to be making content about that? Right? There's a difference between having a business mindset where you're asking your community, hey, what do you guys need? What kind of content are y'all looking for? So that way I can do my job as I'm building this community, as I'm building my business, to make sure I am listening to the feedback of the people who are supporting me. That's how you run business. That's how you have a business mindset. And this is free game. Okay? Free game. But if you're only doing it for the likes, for the viewership, and you're only doing it to make a quick buck of passive income, that would not be, I'm sorry, this is just not the space for you. That would not be the right way to do that, to go about that, especially if you are trying to build a loyal community. I didn't say fan base. I said a loyal and trustworthy and supportive community. Okay? Another great addition to this is having to balance between making sure I'm creating for myself and I'm sharing for myself, but also creating for the entertainment of other people, but not making that the sole focus of why I post my content or why I am choosing to create. It's not just for entertainment for other people. Like, I am putting my heart and my soul and healing on my art pieces and how I choose to express myself. So that is something that I choose not to take lightly. And I feel that any artist that is watching this and you feel like that is your approach to your work, please value that. Okay? It's one thing to be a content creator, to make content that is entertaining and inviting and exciting, which is cool, depending on, how you choose to make your content, right? But it's also important to make sure that your content still values who you are as an individual, what your mission is for. In this case, I'm going to use myself as an example. So if you have ever joined any of my live streams, especially on TikTok, y'all know I am a goofball. I crack jokes all day. Like, I just love, and I know I show some of my personality, not even some, all of my personality is here on YouTube too. But I crack jokes. I make myself laugh because I love, laughter is so healing for me, and I love being able to help other people heal through my comedic relief. So that is like one way where I do entertain people, showing my music taste and really just being in tune with how I flow in real time on live streaming is one way I showcase entertainment, right? And then on the flip side of that, I still value that intuitive and spiritual side of myself of, okay, let's make sure the work that I create feels right for me, right? And that it really resonates with how I'm feeling in the moment. Or, okay, let's make sure I make workshops and YouTube videos that are aligned with my missions and my goal as an artist, but also still make it a little flavorful. You know what I'm saying? I still put a little personality on it. See, I just did that. See how I could do that? You could do that too. You know what I'm saying? You could do it. But yeah, like, you gotta make sure it's entertaining, but also it still resonates with you. So that's how I feel I am able to balance that content creator side of myself and still resonate with the artist part of myself, and being able to just blend the two, because I'm just being myself. That's it. Just be yourself. Okay? I'm telling you, you gonna go so far with authenticity. I'm telling you, you gonna make it, baby. You ain't gotta put a mask on. Take it off, okay? It's ugly. Take the mask off. It don't look like you, all right? You ain't gotta do none of that other cookie cutter stuff. You can just be yourself, and people are going to resonate with you. People are going to resonate with the type of person that you are. That's the reason why y'all are here. That's the reason why y'all watch. Another great segue of this is make sure you honor the relationship that you have with your art first, because you are an artist first. You are an artist first. Even if content creation was the first thing that you decided to do, and before you even decided to put your art or dancing or put your photography or poetry out there, content creation in this case will be your second love. All right? Because with content creation, you have to wear a different hat, and being an artist, seeing what your relationship like with your artistry, with how you create is a lot more valuable, because then other people get to see that in the content that you create. It's totally okay to spend more time in one particular area of your art practice. I literally just listed all the different hats that I wear as an artist, and being and having an art business. But I have to figure out, okay, where am I being called to right now? What needs my most attention right now? Where do I feel like I could give all of my attention to right now? Or what's one thing that I'm like really excited about to give all of my attention to? Is it simply just creating my art in privacy? Is it showing up on TikTok live consistently for the next month or two, right? Or is it planning a workshop and putting a workshop together and putting out content that gets people excited about the upcoming workshop that I have, right? Or is it a mixture of those two? Because sometimes I got 50% for this one and 50% for that one that I could give my time and my energy to. So definitely pay attention to where you are at in your practice, where you're choosing to give your time to, right? And just remember that your relationship with your art is on that hierarchy before you hit share. All right? Your relationship with your art is on the top priority list before you hit share. Whether that's just in private, whether that is you sharing in private with family and friends, right? Or you sitting with your artwork before you decide to even put a price on it, right? So pay attention to what those things are for you, and value your relationship and your time and energy with your art and creating with yourself before you ever decide to put any content up on social media. I feel new age artists, especially in this climate of content creation and people wanting to make passive income, I feel like there's a lot of factors that get played into that. But for artists who really appreciate the practice, who are students of art, we don't create art just to post content. We don't. For those that are living in their authenticity, for those that have long-term goals, for those that see a vision bigger than themselves when it comes to building their art business, we do not create art just to make content. We create art for ourselves. We create art in order to heal. We create art to speak a different language. We create art to just be impactful, to be insightful, to be inspiring, to channel. That's what we do. And then when we feel it is time for us to give that to the world, to share that with the world, we will. And you have to respect that language and that relationship that you have with your art. And as a supporter, you have to respect that relationship that an artist has with their work. Getting into our next phase of this conversation, I want to break down consistency, because I feel like consistency is a word that just gets thrown around, that's just like, oh, you have to be consistent. And a lot of the times we think consistency is showing up every day the same way, like a robot. And that is not consistency. That is not sustained consistency. Showing up every day the same way and expecting yourself to have the same output that you had 24 hours ago is called craziness. That is not consistency. That is called the first steps to burnout. That is called the first steps of burnout. So to break down consistency a little bit more, consistency involves finding a balance, knowing your why, being disciplined, and having a solid foundation. Now, mind you, those are going to be in different orders, right? But I'm going to break it down to y'all by each phase. So I got y'all. So starting from having a solid foundation, this is essentially your authenticity, your roots. This is your creativity. This is your ideas, the thing that nobody knows what's going on in your brain or how you're receiving your art, whether you're channeling with the ancestors or you are inspired by certain things within your childhood, right? These are the things that only you can destroy yourself, and they're created by you that nobody can take away from you. That is your foundation, because that's the one thing that you can always fall back on when all else fails, right? Because you remember, oh, okay, this is home, right? So for my spiritual people, this will be considered like your root chakra, your roots, your sacral, and your solar plexus, a little bit of your solar plexus chakra, right? This is where you come back to your home base. Our next attribute is knowing your why. So for me, my why is because I create for self. I create for me. I create for my own healing. I create for my own satisfaction. I create for my own curiosity and exploration. I create because this is the connection that I have with my ancestors. This is the connection I have with my inner child. It lightens me up. My art heals me. That is knowing my why. But also to my why is I create, which is a part of the sharing portion of this. I create because I know my art is going to resonate with other people. I know my art is bigger than just myself, because there are other people that need healing too. And I want to be a part of that conversation of somebody looking at something and just feeling at peace. They feel seen, they feel represented, they feel at home, right? I want to be able to connect through the world, through my voice, through my art, and just through my mission of accessibility and making sure people have the right resources. So that is my why. You got to figure out what your why is. And if your why is similar to mine, welcome to the family. It's great to see you, but you got to figure out, what that is. And your why should not be anything that you cannot control. And what I mean by that is, a lot of people ask about what's your motivation. And people say, oh, my motivation is to make money. That's not your motivation. Your motivation is to get out of a situation that you're in. So what's that situation? Because you don't want to experience something that you're experiencing now in the future. It's not just money. Right? Money's great. Money is a beautiful reward. But another thing that lightens me up about being able to create art is not for the simple fact that I get paid to do this. It's for the simple fact that I can connect with people who are connecting with me. And I feel better as a human being about it, because I spent time and energy, them not knowing how hard or what my struggle was trying to get through here, because a lot of my work, I'm channeling a lot of emotions and trauma that I've gone through into my work. And a lot of people don't know what has gotten me to this point, but for the simple fact that the language that I have put out there into my work is being received, but also being interpreted in a different way, is such a huge reward with money. So figure out what your why is, why you are motivated to do what you do, even if it's for the simple fact that you just love to create and you appreciate art. It could simply just be that. Our third one would be being disciplined. Now, this one is where I can catch some of y'all. This is the one where you distinguish between just being an artist and having an art business. And that's just the truth. I have to be honest about that. So being disciplined is, how are you choosing to show up? How are you choosing to show up for your community that you're creating? How are you choosing to build that relationship with your art? How are you choosing to build that relationship with the inner student that you have? How are you choosing to build that relationship with your leadership? How are you choosing to build that relationship with the type of content that you create? Are you being honest? Are you being direct? What does your consistency look like? And are you being hard on yourself? Are you giving yourself time to take breaks, right? What does that discipline look like to you? It is literally just that consistency. Where am I choosing to show up? in a way that works best for me, and where I can honor my practice, I can honor the goals that I have, I can honor the community that I'm building. If you said that your why is to heal yourself, what does healing yourself look like in your art practice? And that means painting when you feel called to paint. Instead of scrolling on social media, how are you choosing to heal? That because painting gives you a dopamine too. It gives you a good old dopamine hit. Because baby, I done tried it, right? You know, what does that commitment to your work looks like? Or if you say, my why is for my kids. All right. If your why is to make a better life or better living for you and your children, what does that commitment look like? That commitment looks like having a new routine that works best for y'all. That commitment may look like, okay, maybe me and my children are doing collaborative projects together. That commitment may look like, okay, I have to let my kids know this is the time that I'm scheduling for mommy and daddy to create, right? What does that commitment look like? And that involves taking those steps. That involves implementing some new practices. And now we're at our last one, which is finding balance. And finding that balance is basically, what does it look like in those actionable steps that we just talked about? What does it look like to create your art, but also build your community, right? So are we building like a chat for a group chat where all the artists that support you on a central platform that you are on, you get to communicate with them all the time? What does it look like to create content, and what type of content are we creating? What does it look like to still be an artist and do a pop-up shop or a trunk show? What does that balance look like on a month or quarterly or week-to-week basis for you, for wherever you are in your art journey? And I know I have a lot of people that are just emerging. So that balance for you could be, okay, well, how am I choosing to showcase my personality, right? By the content that I create. And how can I show up just in my art practice? What does that balance look? How can I fixate that balance, and what does that look like for me? When and where do I want to give my time and energy to for either of these things? Another phase of those actionable steps would be, where are you choosing to educate and do mentorship? Are you choosing to collaborate with other artists? You got to figure out what works best for you, and then take those steps and figure out what that consistency looks like through wearing these different hats. So I know I have given y'all so many good gems in this episode, and I want to give y'all one last one, which is one that I feel like we forget about all the time, especially for our hustlers, our hustlers, especially for our people that are just on go, 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 go. Take a break. Take a break. Know when to take a break. Just like you are respecting and building that relationship with your art, go ahead and respect and build that relationship with taking a break and sitting your ass down. It's so beautiful when you do it. You should try it. Sit down. You're burnt out. Most of us are out here talking about, oh, okay, I'm hustling. I could just keep going. I could put this content out for the next 6 days and and then you wonder why you ain't got no energy to do nothing else. You wonder why you so beat up and so tired. You thinking, oh, I'm on 100%, and you only resonating on a frequency of 75 or 25. Be honest with yourself about the energy and the time that you have to give. It is okay to step away from your work. It is okay to take a break. That is a part of the art practice. That is a part of content creation. You cannot always be go, 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 go. You look at the many streamers right now in the streaming world who go 30 days on camera. They need a break. I would think a streamer is crazy if they don't decide to take a break after being on camera for 24 hours and to be quiet, to settle in their energy, to really look at all the accomplishments that they have made within the past 30 days or in the past year. Because that's what I've had to do. I've had to really build a relationship and tell myself that it is okay to take a break. You are worthy of taking a break. Value it. Respect the time, because that time is for you to go inward. That time is to be ingrained in yourself. That time is to listen to your ancestors, to listen to what the world is trying to tell you, right? And I'll tell you this too. Taking a break also precedes new opportunities, rewards. Because maybe if you didn't take a break, you wouldn't have saw this opportunity over there waving at you to the right, or this one waving over to you to the left. So take your breaks. Value your time away from the internet. Value your time away from constant engagement. Value your time away from your art, and find ways to still feel fulfilled and whole when you do decide to step back. And I definitely have all the great videos up on ways that y'all can do that. So take the break, okay? Take it. So we are finally at the end of this episode. Thank you guys so much for watching it all the way through. I hope you have found something valuable within this episode. And please let me know, what was the thing that stood out to you and how is this helping within your art practice? I would love to hear from y'all in the comments. But without further ado, our affirmation is, I appreciate how you choose to show up today. I appreciate how you choose to show up today. So I hope this episode was impactful, insightful. I hope you learned something new. I hope you learned something new about me and about your art practice. As always, if you are interested in workshops, you are more than welcome to visit my Patreon. I have all the past workshops available and up for. You can buy the collection itself with all 3 workshops, or you can purchase the one-time payment for whichever workshop that you are interested in, and you keep it forever. Okay, you just keep it. And you can always go back to it. The resources are all still available for you. And if you are interested in booking a one-on-one session with me, you are more than welcome to book a mentorship session. I would love to have you. I would love to be a part of your journey, okay? And as always, for commissions, for apparel, for art prints, you can always find that on my website. And the freest way of supporting me is sharing my art, sharing my message, reposting my content. And for those of y'all that are just feeling a little bit extra, you can always support me by hitting my donations. And yeah, so I appreciate y'all for just sticking around, and I will see y'all on the next episode. Until next time, bye.
How do you find yourself able to stay consistent as an artist and a content creator? Because you got to put something out to the people.
Thank you, Cam, for the love.
At all times, you know what I mean? So like, I feel like, sometimes when those droughts are like, lack of inspiration, happens, like you don't really have anything to post. Like, what do you do? Or do you just like somehow muster through it?
Well, so like, mine is a little bit different. So like, I go based off of how I feel emotionally. So like, especially being a woman, like I know I build all of my stuff around my cycle. So usually I know, like, I like make sure right before my cycle, I make content. I don't have to post all of it all at once, but like on those days where I'm like feeling down, or I don't have as much as energy as I would like to, I still know that I still have content that I can post for the times that I am away. But like just recently, September, I completely like came off of social media. And as an artist, as a creative in general, I feel like we all need those times where like we have to take breaks because you need to go experience life.
Yeah. Right.
Like that's a part of being a creator. Like you have to go get involved in like what's happening outside of your studio or whatever space that you're working in. So you just got to find a balance that works best for you. That would be like the best advice I have, because like it's your journey and everybody's got to figure out what works best for them.